Right. So once again, I welcome you all to this very special 106th session of Leadership Talk. As you know that these talks are being organized by India International Education Council and School Lalaji Solutions. India International Education Council is a not-for-profit organization which is working in the field of education. It has collaborators from 12 countries. It aims to create a better world of education. It's also build quality centers quality centers for elementary education approachable for all kids, finding best educational practices across the globe and find ways to implement those in Indian institutions. It is also creating more awareness on hygiene and learning disabilities. Publishes a magazine called World Education Review and many other educational reports. It will soon, it aims to build 100 chapters in different cities by 2022. It will soon open its membership for institutions and individuals. It also impart training for leaders, teachers, students, and parents. So as you are aware that we have so far successfully conducted 105 sessions, we have received 10,659 registrations. For these sessions, we have also received 9,614 questions on national education policy. From India, we have seen participation from 5 countries: India, USA, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Nepal. And from India, we have seen participation from 20 states and 84 cities. We aim to organize 200 sessions. With these sessions, we would be reaching out to 100,000 educators, 20,000 institutions, and 1,000 plus eminent speakers, like today's speakers, would be joining us to share their perspective on national education policy. So now I would request you all, please join me in welcoming our key speakers for this very special session. Our first key speaker, Pratibha Mishra ji, she is principal with Panbai International School, Mumbai, Maharashtra. She has 20 years of experience in the field of teaching in SSC, ICSC, CBSC, IGCSC, and CAI boards. More than 15 successful years in school administration. She has done a certified course by Cambridge International Program by Assessment for Learning. She has presented a paper on education for peace at National Senior School Seminar Series. She has won many prestigious awards. She has been training teachers for schools ISO certification. She has been voluntarily teaching and orienting BMC schools in Mumbai. She has been working with various NGOs. She has received many prestigious awards like Global Leadership Award, Nation Builder Award, International School Principal Award, among many others. So Pratibha ji would be joining us late. She is not feeling that well, so she'll be joining us slightly late. And next speaker, Monica Oriji, a very senior education leader. She's currently academic director with the BPN Group. She's a passionate educator with an inspiring journey from primary school to director. She has of 28 plus years of experience in education. She has worked with many prestigious schools like Springdale's Manav Bharati India International, APJ Sheikh Sarai, Cambridge School Noida, St. George's School Laknanda, and SPS International School Palwal as director. She has an experience of establishing schools from preschool to senior. One such example is Shriram Global Schools. She has worked with many eminent organizations like ILFS, it is a business school, Senmex India Limited, and other management colleges and Aditya Birla Group, among others. She has also played an instrumental role in curriculum development in school. She has also contributed towards the development of child-centered activity-based textbooks, for primary schools based upon new NCERT syllabus. We welcome you, Monica ma'am. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you. Our next speaker, again, very senior education leader, Ms. Rachna Bhimrajka ji. Rachna ji is founder and CEO of Fun to Learn. As I said, like she's the founder of Fun to Learn, which is she is a dynamic, enthusiastic, innovative, and dedicated focused entrepreneur and educationist for more than 1.5 decades. She's a handwriting expert, graphologist, and career counselor. She conducts several training programs and workshops for different age groups. So far, she has trained more than 1,25,000 students and works on women empowerment and Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao movement. She had trained thousands of teachers and made them financially independent. She is associated with many social and educational organizations and is a proud recipient of a plethora of awards for her untiring efforts. She is also the president with the Siksha Kalyan Foundation, Maharashtra. We welcome you, Rachna ji. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Our next key speaker, Pushpanjali Gaurji. Pushpanjali ji is a principal with Holy Angel Senior Secondary School, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. She's a passionate educator. She has an MSc Zoology and B.Ed. She has been awarded and recognized for her contribution to the field of education. We welcome you, Pushpanjali ji. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you. Our next key speaker, Dr. Preeti Tyagi. Dr. Tyagi is assistant professor with SRM University, Haryana. She's done PhD mathematics from IIT Roorkee, MPhil mathematics from CCS University Meerut. She's also done MSc and she's a GATE qualified with All India rank of 163. We welcome you, Preeti ji. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next key speaker, Mr. Sunil Dangi. Sunil ji is co-founder and CEO of eMango Solutions. He's an IIT graduate from IIT Kanpur. He's having master's degree in mathematics and scientific computing. He's an actuary and also as a member with Institute of Actuary United Kingdom. He has worked with many prestigious organizations like ICICI Prudential, HSBC, and Financial Risk Advisor at Ernst & Young, India and UK. He's an entrepreneur for last 6 years in telecom, food and education sector. He's been doing research on career counseling for last 2 years. Based on that research, they have come up with a wonderful product called eMango, which is a digital career counseling platform. We welcome you, Sunil ji and Nitin ji. Thank you for joining. Our last key speaker for this very special session, Mr. Vinayak Sharma. Vinayak ji is a national head of business and strategy at Torrens. He's a MBA double major in finance and marketing from IIM. He dropped out after clearing a first group of CA final to start his own brand of tea, which sells successfully in rural West Bengal and opened up subsequent exports to European markets. Having a decade of experience in FMCG sector, branding and supply chain, along with handling international trades and logistics. Since 2017, involved in bringing an upliftment in the field of music education provided to schools across India through Torrens, which is a US-based organization known globally to provide best in music education through its online and offline platform. So we welcome you, Vinayak. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you. So now, we come to the next part of this session, which is the opening remarks. So I'll come to our key speakers, one by one for your opening remarks. I would request Monica ma'am, if I may ask you for your quick 1 minute opening remarks to begin the session.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. This is Monica Ori, and the opening remark is that I'm really looking forward for such beautiful the policy that is being made, and I'm sure with all these dignitaries sitting over here, they are going to contribute and we are going to make it a success. I am 100% sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So after reading your profile, even you are without saying, I could sense that you are always positive that we are going to execute it together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica ji, for joining, and I'll come back to you for your main talk. Now,
Sure.
I would request Rachana ji, if I may ask you for your opening remarks.
Good evening, one and all. I cannot express my happiness when I'm talking about NEP and especially my core expertise. Usually, when we talk about NEP, we have been given a particular topic. Now here, Mr. Rajul, he said whatever you want for NEP, so I chose my topic, the foundation literacy, wherein I can talk about the handwriting and mathematics. So I'm really looking for it because that was the need of the last few decades. So I can share my views, my opinion. So really looking for it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Rachana ji, and welcome. I'll come back to you for your main talk. Now, I'll request Pushpanjali Gaur ji. Do we have your presence, Pushpanjali ji? I believe she is yet to join. Now, I would request Dr. Preeti Tyagi. Dr. Preeti, if we can have your quick 1 minute opening remark. Ma'am, you are not audible.
Yeah, good afternoon all. I think in my opinion, we all are eagerly waiting for this because it is coming after 34 years of gap. So this is, we are really want this in our education system. So NEPs give lot of us to achieve.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. Now, I'll request Mr. Nitin Nakwal. Nitin ji, if we can have your quick opening remark.
Thank you, Rajul, and I would really love to congratulate you for bringing all of us together so that we can add little value, whatever we can, for the betterment of our future generation. Uh, Whole purpose of education is to turn mirror into windows. I read somewhere, I don't know who quoted it, but I'm really hopeful that NEP, with the inclusion of 360-degree assessment, experiential learning, and vocational training, everything, is able to turn the Indian education system from mirrors into windows, where the transfer of knowledge can take place. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nitinji, for that powerful remarks. We'll come back to you. Now, I would request Vinayak Sharmaji or Vinayak, if we can have your quick opening remarks.
Thank you, Rajulji, for the introduction. It feels really nice to be a part of this presence, and we would like to discuss and learn a lot. There is a lot to learn from the panelists here, and I'm eager to listen to what everybody has to say. Music being my core area of expertise, I will just highlight on the facts how music can be helpful for a child's development, as well as what's its relevance in the NEP 2020. So, looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you, Vinayak. We'll come back to you. So with this, we come to the next part of this session, which is the main talk session. But before I invite our key speakers, for the main talk, just would like to share the learnings of our previous sessions. In fact, during our last 105 sessions, almost every participant shared that this is a wonderful document. This document has a potential to place India at that coveted position of Vishwa Gyan Guru. But almost everyone in the same breath also shared that execution is going to be very, very difficult. This is again another good initiative, which like many people gave the example of CCE. It was also a wonderful initiative, but got failed due to poor execution. We did not train our teachers properly. So again, like same number of people shared that teachers training would be a key. A lot of people also shared that finance is going to be a huge challenge. This pandemic also exposed how badly that digital has been, established. So a lot of people also share that we have that huge, I would say, difference in terms of infrastructure. So a lot of people also talked about the finance would be a key. A lot of people also share that good schools in urban areas, they are already implementing these ideas and suggestions. So they said that the biggest challenge would be for rural school, the schools, budget schools and government schools. So with that thought, I would request, while sharing your interpretation, your ideas, if you can also share some suggestions, based upon your own experience, which we all can try to execute in our respective domain. So that would make this interaction more meaningful and more special. So with this, I would request our first key speaker, Monica Oriji. Monica ji, if I may ask you, all these speakers will get 10 minutes, and so that we have sufficient time in the end for the questions. We have already received many questions, on national education policy. So with this, I would request Monica ma'am. Monica ji, over to you.
Thank you so much. And I'm so blessed and fortunate to be over here. And I really, really acknowledge for taking this kind of initiative, and I have seen the previous recordings also, which it was available, which is so amazing that you are creating such a wonderful platform where all the ideas are being put into one platform. And definitely this is going to give us the idea how we can proceed. And the best part is every session you are telling everybody this is what is the key note of the sessions that you have got it. It's amazing. And I'm going to talk about early childhood program, that, and the best part of NEP which I loved is that creating that foundation stage, that preschool plus nursery, KG, grade 1 and grade 2. These are the few initial stages where the child needs the most attention. They need that, they are attention seekers at that moment of time. And even parents are also new, they don't know what is to be done. So this is the stage where the child's brain is developing. Till 6 years it is being developing. So at this age, what child is in their mind is whatever they see, they just do that, they just copy that. So, and in schools, every school is making their own curriculum, making their own efforts to make it happen that every child should learn, every child should speak, every child should express. So here the very good initiative given done by the NCRT, that they are saying they will be designing a curriculum which will be given to all it will be at one platform. So the flow will be same. So from initial till grade 2, it will be in a flow, so that the assessment is easy, the flow is easy, and the children, they can learn in an easier way. And when one guideline is being given, one framework is being given, that will be really, really, really great. In any case, in this age, the child, they need all kind of motor skills that we are talking about: physical motor skills, social motor skills, fine motor skills, and then they are social emotional skills, then the mathematical skills, numerical skills that they all talk about. And here they especially talk about the experiential learning. This time they have emphasized on, and 360-degree assessment, which is amazing. Experiential learning, if we talk about, most of the urban schools, they're already doing it. They have already created a learning spaces where they are inculcating those skills. They have created edu drama space, they have created physical motor skills for physical, that means they have included all the physical activities, they have included art and a craft program, everything they are already doing. But I would again think the kind of experiential learning that they are talking about is to include the nature into the curriculum. How to include nature? I just give you one example. When I was reading this, it just came into my mind, because at this age, the children, they are learning how to speak, how to express. So, and we are teaching them phonetic sounds we are teaching. If, for example, in this pandemic lockdown time, the children, they were at home, the parents were at home, so I gave few examples to the parents how to occupy their children. So I gave them the example: take them out, in the garden, as the birds are chirping and the birds are singing, why don't you allow your child to sing along with them? Why don't they copy those, sounds, so that that practice of sound is there? It is just natural. And when you do it, your child will follow it and they will do it. And such kind of things can be included, where we are including the nature into the curriculum, and what is they are talking about, which I really loved the things. And rest of the motor skills and everything, that has been already been taken care. They talk about it has to be self-centric, self-confidence needs to be inculcated, self-knowledge, then cooperation, integration. This is we already doing in our schools, in our teachers, they are doing. And the whole curriculum goes around the complete holistic development of a child-centric things will be happening. Most of storytelling, all those things, which is already happening. But again, when we talk about the rural areas, that is lacking. But in this case, rural areas, they can include the nature, because they're more close to the nature. So that can be included. And the most important point for early education system is that the infrastructure, the kind of exposure of the infrastructure is given to a child, which is like it has to be like, it should be well ventilated, well designed, child friendly, and well constructed building. But if we talk about rural areas, it is not that, but still then those areas can be created, in a natural learning way. In urban areas, what they create is they make some building block spaces, they make art and craft spaces, they make where they can plant a tree. If we are telling a child to plant a tree, he knows every child is planting a tree, every day is coming and putting water. So the importance of water, importance of air, importance of the the care and the love that each and a child needs. So the child will be comparing the caring of a plant with itself. जैसे मामा आपको खाना देती है, ऐसे प्लांट को वो खाना देते हैं. So those comparison. So this nature will be really close. So they are acknowledging water, they are acknowledging air, they are acknowledging all those things, which actually ultimately creates the gratitude in a child, a gratitude towards the natural things that is being given to us by the universe. So we are connecting a child to the universe more by doing all these things. And the most important point, all these things will happen because we are engaging a child through the ambience, that the infrastructure we are talking about. We are encouraging a child to do some of the experiments. We are encouraging a child to do exploring the things, doing the experimentation. And then we are telling a child to express also, which is inculcating a self-confidence in a child. So this is how the whole, this whole process creates a child confident. So now, after doing this, how this can happen? It can happen only when a teacher is completely trained. A teacher is trained how to engage a child. If one child is misbehaving, a teacher gets disturbed and the whole class has to suffer. So we have to train such teacher. We should not take teaching as a career, as if that she's not able to do anything else, let's do teaching. That's not the case. It has to be proper, as they have already mentioned. After 10+2, ECCE certified training is must if they have to go for the teaching training kind of a thing. And then if it is lower than 10+2, then they have to do 1 year diploma of teachers training. So that is very clearly they have mentioned. So minimum qualification of a teacher is ECCE. Then after ECCE training, they have to do some kind of internship also, so that at least 1 year I would suggest, because until and unless they see all the whole months, every month their festivals are there, every month few celebrations are there, she should understand how to do the duty for a celebration, how to create the celebration, how to be with the children, and how they can involve the children in making those celebrations successful. So that way the teacher should know everything. So with the diploma, they should learn all these things as well, before going to the start teaching directly as a mother teacher to the classroom. And then, and I completely believe this, if a teacher is trained, if a teacher is smart enough, if a teacher is creative enough, she can create geniuses in her class. I can vouch for that, because we have seen so many examples that if a teacher is effective, the students become effective. If teacher is not effective, the students, they lose their interest because of that only. So it is highly recommended, and everybody is saying teacher training is required. If teachers training is required, the training is required when a teacher in the class, that training is required. A training is required when teacher is taking children outside, when they are doing outdoor activities, that is required. How they are, what kind of activities they are doing, and in those activities, what is the outcome. If teacher doesn't know what is the outcome of that activity is useless. So when they are taking the teacher is taking the students to the outside, they should know what is the outcome. If the teacher is doing some indoor activities, they should know the outcome. And if the teacher is assessing a child, the children should know, the parent should know on what basis they are being assessed. So 360-degree assessment is being recommended. So when it has been recommended, which is actually good, we are assessing on their skills, not on their marks. So here we are focusing, we are creating skills in a child. That means nothing else, but we are creating habits of mind, because when we are creating habits of mind, that is a lifelong skills that we are inculcating in a child. As we are introducing magic words, we say thank you, then the child knows the meaning of a thank you. Whenever it's not that when somebody gives you something, then they say thank you. It is thank you because whatever thank you is a gratitude which they need to give it to the didi to whom they are, they will be dealing with. They will going to washroom, they are coming back with the washroom with their didis, they need to say that thank you to them. So that kind of gratitude we are inculcating at this age group only. And if these things are inculcated, these habits of mind till 6 years, I'm sure this is going to give them a great, a path to go ahead for the senior classes. And when this is created, infrastructure I'm talking about, training I'm talking about, then I'm talking about the involvement of the parent. That is also very, very important. It is very, very crucial, because the parents are new, they don't know what is to be done. So I believe along with the training of teachers, the training, the orientation and the training for the parents should also be included, so that they should think, they should not criticize a child, because they, whenever they are coming to PTMs, they say my child is not doing this, my child is, they have that complaining mode. If they have that complaining mode, the child will be in complaining mode. If they are appreciating their child, it is appreciating. As we can take the example of Thomas Edison, as there was a letter given by the school, he came home, he showed that letter to the mother. Mother saw that letter and said, "Oh, you are a genius, my child. The school has said the teachers are not qualified enough that they can teach you in school. So I'll be teaching you. You are a genius." So from that point, that child became a genius. So it is up to a teacher, it is up to a parent how they are bringing their children up. If they are in complaining mode, the child will move into complaining mode. If they are in appreciating mode, it will be in appreciating and encouraging mode. This is what it is. So involvement of parents is very, very important. Then experiential learning, as I've already told, that including the nature, the air, water, already doing, but more of those activities can be included in the curriculum, so that they show the gratitude to all those natural things that we are talking about. Then holistic development we talk about, definitely we are celebrating, we are, so more of stories of that kind, where which actually inculcate the value of patriotism in a child. So when we are doing it, why we tell them to color national flag only when it is 15th August or only 26th January nearby? Why not in advance when we are introducing color green? Why can't we show them the flag, that flag has this? So it is integrated, not only one thing, we are integrating too many things together, so that they are learning the color also, that value is also inculcated, and all these things are incorporated in all these things. So this is what I really want to go ahead with it. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Monica ma'am, such a passionate talk, suggestions you made about NEP. You explained the positive side of NEP in a wonderful way. You said like NEP talks about experiential learning, where it includes nature.
Yeah.
You also talked about how NEP focuses upon holistic development by
Yes.
suggesting those desired changes in the curriculum. You also shared your assessment that only trained teachers can create geniuses, and you also shared few examples. You also talked about the importance of building habits, and how they actually eventually they would create lifelong life skills among those students. And you also said that parents training must be involved, must be taken seriously by all these schools for their own sake. So thank you, Monica ma'am, for such a strong opinion and suggestions.
Before leaving, I would again say 2-3 lines why I am focusing on a trained teacher is, सुंदर सुर सजाने को साज बनाती हूँ, उड़ते परिंदे को बाज बनाती हूँ, कहता है बनाए कोई चांद बुर्दे खलीफा, मैं कच्ची मिट्टी से ताज बनाती हूँ. This is
Right.
what a teacher is like.
Absolutely, absolutely. अगर आप ये लाइन नहीं बोलते तो ये लाइन मैंने सोची हुई थी. मैं ही
Thank you so much.
But absolutely, we all agree with you कि आप कोई कहीं पे भी बुर्ज खलीफा बनाए, पर एक टीचर वो है जो कच्ची ईंटों से ही ताज बनाता है.
Yes, sir.
और वो उन बुर्ज खलीफा बनाने वालों को बनाता है.
Actually.
Thank you, Monica ma'am, for joining and sharing. We'll come back to you with questions.
Sure.
With this, now I would request the next key speaker, Rachna ma'am. Rachna ji, if we can have your ideas and your perspective.
Okay, good evening once again. Now, I totally agree to Monica ma'am. Monica ma'am is so beautifully focused. Just hold for a second. I think some setting has changed. Yeah. Monica ma'am has so beautifully portrayed about the ECC, like the values, the phonics part and all. So I would like to speak about the National Foundation of Literacy and Numeracy. Now, the priority for the education system is to achieve the universal foundational literacy and numeracy in the primary school by 2025. This has become the main mission of national mission. And the plan has been targeted by that all the state government, union territories will achieve this target. So when I talk about foundational literacy and numeracy, literacy is what it means: reading, writing, speaking, communicating, and understanding. And numeracy is related to the mathematical skills, and the kids are able to perform the mathematical operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. In India, if we see, large number of elementary schools do have literacy and numeracy level of problem, because 0 to 4 years, 70% of the brain development happens for a child in 0 to 4 years, which Monica ma'am so beautifully mentioned that how we should nurture by inculcating the phonics and all. But many a times, as the teachers are not trained, then the phonics, the reading skills are not developed, which needs to be taken care at the primary level. And over the period, you may say over the decade and all, the writing skills and mathematical skills are being ignored to quite an extent. Now, when I talk about the writing skills, it is in this tech savvy world also. Like I'll just share a personal experience. When we used to approach the schools for the handwriting skills, they used to say, in this tech savvy world, why do we require handwriting as such? Now, even though we all are having the online classes, are the kids not sitting with a pen and paper or a notebook? They need to note down each and every aspect, whether it is a primary level child or a secondary level child. So the importance of handwriting skills cannot be neglected. And this was a few days back, this was also mentioned by the calligraphy and the font formation was also mentioned by Steve Jobs, that the importance of writing and calligraphy of any letters cannot be neglected. And as Modi ji, our honorable Prime Minister, had given due importance that learning should always be fun. So we need to teach the kids a fun way how to read and write, because we have a lot of cursive writing books. There are different authors to write the cursive writing book. But if you see, still most of the students, their writing is not legible, if you can say. So Monica ma'am rightly mentioned about the teachers. The teachers need to be trained, because for a to share your knowledge and to teach the kids, two things are the most important: the curriculum and the teachers. If your teachers are not trained, believe me, even if the curriculum is good, the books are good, the ultimate results will not be seen. If you notice, see, we have been an handwriting expert conducting a national awareness program on handwriting. When we have a competition, if we take the papers of a particular class, if a teacher in the class puts a big dot like bindi like dot on the top of I, you will see the whole class putting a bindi on top of I and not a particular dot. So if the teacher is writing is not proper, however good the books are, the curriculum are, however scientifically designed it is, the ultimate improvement will not be seen in the child. So yes, just not the teachers, but the quality teachers need to be there. We need to focus more and more on the teachers training, because a good teacher can only impart this knowledge, pass on to their kids. Now, suppose if a school is having a qualified teacher on the writing or the mathematical skills, if few teachers in one particular school can take care of 3,000 students of that particular school, same way, if all the teachers from all across India, whether it be the urban area or the rural areas, we can reach out more and more people by training the teachers. Because see, all of us, it's a general question: when we see any child with a bad handwriting or illegible handwriting, what do we say? Acha se likho. As I'm using it in Hindi, acha se likho, acha se likho. But does a 5-year-old child or a 6-year-old child or a 16-year 10th standard old student does know the definition of acha se likho? What does that acha se likho means? Nobody writes bad purposely. So here the teacher's duty is to answer this: how to write properly. A teacher should be that within few hours, like if a teacher is trained in 5 to 6 hours, even a 6-year-old child knows on which areas he or she needs to improve on it. So we need to improve on the handwriting skills. We need to improve on the reading skills. Reading skills, as ma'am rightly mentioned, Monica ma'am, we need to inculcate, I will say, not even pre-primary age, right from when the child is an infant. If the child is 6 months or 1 year, and you are reading out a story, and once the child starts saying, he will narrate you the whole story. If you show them the flashcard of words, maybe he is not able to recognize individual alphabets, but by showing the flashcards like bird or any flashcard you show, the child has so much of grasping power that he or she can grasp that particular word and register that this is the word, the parrot or the bird or elephant, anything flashcard. So it starts from the pre-primary level and goes to the primary level, because primary level the gross and motor skills are developed. Now that skill needs to be polished and enhance, so that the child can read out. Because in rural areas, if you see many of the students 9 10 standard, we have been performing our various programs, we see that 9 10 standard students are not even able to read simple small words. Means because they have not done the phonics, or the early reading programs have not been taught to them. So see, in India, we have all programs available, like the writing program, the mental maths program, the reading programs, but it was not organized or not made part of the school curriculum in a systematic way. So a well set pedagogy has to be set up, so that each and every individual can be benefited. Now, uh, when I talk about mental maths, let me talk about mental maths. Now, see, from childhood, we make the child learn tables in a rote learning way. So how many tables a child can learn in a rote learning way? Till 10, 15, 20, maximum 25. And anybody will not remember a table beyond 25. So there are a lot of fun ways, like we play crisscross. Through crisscross method also we can teach the child write the tables. So now if we are not making the child learn rote learning of tables, but we are playing with a criss and cross and putting in the numbers, and the child learns a table, it gets registered in the child's mind within seconds. And there are logics wherein the child can write any two-digit table right from 11 to 99 without even learning, and within a fraction of seconds with 100% accuracy. We have lot of Vedas, 16 Sutras Vedas, which if from the primary level itself we are inculcating. So when this mathematical skills starting from the counting, addition, subtraction has been included, then I'm sure the Vedas and the Vedic maths, which other countries are adopting, but it originated from India, and till now it was not given that due importance. So I'm sure this will definitely help us, and we will not have one or two Shakuntala Devis in future, we will have lots of Shakuntala Devis. So because we will be focusing on our kids, our students, to make them human calculator, which one to learn, we have already been working on it. So the initiative on the foundation literacy is like up to the mark, I will say. The reading, writing, mathematical skills, and it is basically 5 strategies needs to be followed for that. Curriculum revamping is to, because until and unless we revamp our curriculum, we have to develop a curiosity among the students to learn. Because nowadays the concentration span of any particular child is very very low, like hardly few minutes. So we have to make the child curious to understand and to learn. The need that yes, I want to know, I want to learn, has to be there. Then, as already I mentioned, and ma'am also mentioned, that pedagogical innovations has to be there. We have to be innovative in the classroom process, like the interventions, changing of classroom, flip learning, and also until and unless we have pedagogical innovations, we cannot impart the learning process, the knowledge process to the kids. Yes, we may develop the rote learning, but not the knowledge, gaining of knowledge. Then restructuring of the teacher education program, as all of us know. See, the most of the teachers, they are used to the conventional method. Now our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji is also focusing on technology-based learning. So even if technology-based learning can be used to enhance even the offline programs, like at times people say, how can handwriting be done on a technology-based? Yes, it can be done. You just need to be focused with a scientific approach. So by using technology and other educational programs, we can and we have to train the teachers to create a conducive environment in our classrooms. And revisiting the assessments has been the integral part of the learning for better pedagogies. Now if we don't assess the child, we ourselves will not know how successful we are in, like so assessment at due intervals is very much important to know the assessment, that how much knowledge the child is being imparted. Rather than rote learning, we should focus on understanding and administrative support. Yes, that all the education stakeholders need to work together, whether it be the teachers, the management, the parents, all of us, each one of us are the stakeholders for the betterment of the kids. So we together we all can bring a difference. So the new education policy has lot of positivity in it. Just we need to be little more structured and train the teachers so that the policy can be imparted to the kids in the right way, right format, so that we get best of results. And in the future, next 10 years to 15 years, we can have a literate uh, future kids. And that is also, I would like just that the primary focus should be handled in a more on a serious note and not neglected, because handwriting not only for passing the exams, it is the integral part of the development of a child, because handwriting is brain writing. When what you write, you can you can read out, so you can read out a child's what is going in the child's mind. And but the current pedagogy is what, when a pre-primary child is scribbling on a paper, okay, with a parent or maybe a teacher.
Rachna ji, I would request if you can conclude, you're
Okay, just
overshooting the
1
time.
minute. Okay,
Yeah.
1 minute. Okay. So just I will just say ki in when a child is scribbling, parents, what do? They just take it as a scribbling. But if a parent or a teacher sits with the child will say what he has tried to write, whether he has tried to return the teacher's name or the parent name. So the reading writing skills, it helps not only it helps in your logical thinking, concentration process, listening process, and lot of the overall development depends on these three skills. So I would say these three are the basic life skills in the new NEP which has been incorporated. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, for that detailed importance of handwriting skills, you talked about. Thank you, ma'am. And now with this, I would request Dr. Tyagi, if we can have your ideas, your perspective. You represent that higher education world. Dr. P.T. Tyagi ji.
Yes, thanks, Raju, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on NEP. Actually, I belong to this SRM group, and I want to present something with my slides. So I am just presenting. Just a minute. Sorry, due to some connectivity issue or some technical problem, I didn't able to do this. So just I belong to that SRM group, which is an education system from last 5 decades. So we have started this journey from SRM Nightingale Primary School in 1969 until the opening of two new campuses, SRM University Haryana and SRM University Sikkim. Total, we have family of more than 80,000 students here, and that are increasing day by day. So what I can say, ki we are in both. We are in school system also, and we are in the higher education system also. So first, I want to elaborate some key points of the NEP, that although we all are aware of that, but we came into notice because we all have to achieve these goals. So the main purpose of NEP is to design and a vision and framework for both school and higher education. So we should come together. हम सभी को साथ में आना पड़ेगा as well as at school level and also at the higher education level, because our government says that we have to aim at least 100% gross enrollment ratio. So we have to give the quality education at the primary level, which is first time it is included in the fundamental stages, first time included in the education policy now. Because earlier we can admit the student at the first class, but now we have this into the system. So we will start from the very basic level and we have to go further with the for the higher education. So that is the main aim, that we have to concentrate first on the fundamental stage, then uh, uh, we will go further. So this is how. And the second is the next implement is 10 plus 2 system is changes to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So this is really very difficult, because we are sitting here and we are in the 10, we are coming from 10 plus 2 system. Although the number of years we are spending in this system are same, but first we have to remind ourselves कि हमें इसमें जाना है. So this is very difficult now for to understand how we will do this. This is really a challenge for us. And some good changes are also here, that school complexes to be used for adult education courses after school hours. After school hours we can use the premises with for the higher education. So that will be a good enough, because somehow some schools are very good, very have very good infrastructure, and we can use that infrastructure into our higher education also. Because somehow we see that in nearby villages there are very good public schools, and there is no option for higher education. So if we can start that kind of things in our system, that will be really good for our education system. So we can collaborate, schools can be collaborated with the higher education system to provide a really very big platform for doing this. And one more thing is here, that we have to focus on vocational studies in school level. So, and internship word is also introduced in that school system. We hardly think about that we can incorporate internships in the schools. So although it is very we can say this is challenges for us, but this implementation is really very good. The sometimes it is also says it in it that medium of instructions will be local or regional. Somehow in my opinion it is also difficult, because if somebody is living in Delhi and his or her mother tongue is in from the south, so for a teacher it is very difficult to incorporate these changes in the system. Although we have to work out actually. What the two speakers are says rightly, ki we have to make first that on the teacher training we have to focus on that one. Otherwise it is very difficult for, because the main responsibility is on the teachers now. First we have to learn the things what NEP is saying, and then we have to implement these policies into the our structure. One thing is that coding is started from class 6. Somehow when I go back into our system, we are only teaching the paint and brush in the classes for the computers. But now we have to start that coding in our curriculum, and I think it is really good enough for the current scenario. Because in these days we have to make when we are talking about a digitized world, so we have to incorporate this change into our school system. So school will enhance their infrastructure, will enhance their infrastructure also for such kind of training. So these are although all the things which we want to incorporate is very good, but challenges are also here. And I think, in my opinion, if we will focus on these changes, we will give the extra wings to the child as well as our nation. So now, if we come across the higher education, the major change is multiple level entry and exit. This is a big change, because once a student will get admission in first year, certainly he or she will get the degree after 3 years, if I am talking about the UG courses. But now the situation is changes. We have good idea that we have multiple entries and exit, and we can give them the extra, that one, uh, I can say diploma and advanced diploma in that courses. But somehow it is questionable, is people come back to gain that one. This is in my opinion, this is good or bad actually, because now in our system it is compulsory to take 3 years here. But once he get the good salary somewhere, whether he will back here or not, so it is a questionable also. And one more thing is there, that master degree will be of 1 year and 2 year now. In our system now it is of 2 years, but now when we are going into 3 and 4, and then master degree will be 1 and 2 years, and main focus is on the research. So that is very positive for the purpose to that we have to, now we have to innovate the things. We have to think out on not only on the position of degree or earning the degree. Now we are concentrating on the research actually. So that is how we can move our research work further, for which can give us the growth in terms of innovations also. So in my opinion, I can say that the role of teacher and institute is very much important. First, we need extra trainings for the teachers. Although if we have skilled people, so I think unemployment problem will be solved somehow, because our honorable prime minister says in everywhere that we make skilled people. So as for example, if I can say, if I'm talking about our institution, we are offering some good courses, like with specialization in big data, with specialization in data analytics, and with specialization in cloud computing. Although we are doing uh, something which are related, but we have to enhance more to go with this new NEP. So I can conclude with that responsibility on ourselves, that we need more. Uh, we have to work out actually. We have to work out together, schools and higher educations, and we have to give a shoulder to both of us. हमें साथ चलना पड़ेगा, then we can do the things. Otherwise, this is all paperwork. We have to focus on it. That's all.
Absolutely. Preeti ji, we need more and more collaboration between the school education and higher education. So thank you for your remarks. Preeti ji, will come back to you with questions. Now I would request Mr. Vinayak Sharma. Vinayak ji, over to you.
Thank you, Rajulji. It was wonderful listening to everybody, and everyone's inputs are really they're interesting and they teach us a lot. And there is such a lot of need of improvement in our education system. It's like everybody can like mention at least 5 things that can be improved. But as I said, like I am more focused into the music. So let me discuss what impact will music have in the NEP 2020. Uh, Basically, music has never been a lot of priority for the schools, and the thought process that are currently missing in the school masses are that there has been a general lack of curriculum, lack of awareness of different music genres, how a career-oriented music education can improve a child's future, availability of instruments, and dedicated infrastructure. Schools generally lack a dedicated infrastructure for these music rooms as well. And plus, schools are not very interested to give the performance opportunities to children. Now, only those children who have an access to an instrument at home, or probably who are learning somewhere, are the ones who get highlighted and are performing in the school, be it for a 15th August event or maybe annual day function. But what about the 500 other students who don't have that opportunity and might have that skill which we need to focus on? So I'm glad that NEP 2020 mentions music 20 times in its drafting. So definitely there has been a real relevance to music which has been laid in the NEP 2020. I would also like to highlight that there was a study done published in 2018 by Mysore University scholar Dr. Mysore University scholar Dr.